Alright, we're starting off with a black scene. There's nothing in here that projects any light whatsoever. Now, when designing this set, I created a few lights in the ceiling, for instance, and I'm going to just turn them on real quick. These are model lights, like circles in the ceiling, that are made emissive. And you know, if you don't know how to make a surface emissive, you can pretty much make any surface emissive, which means it will project lighting. You simply click on it. You got to go to presets, shaders, array, and either click on Uber base. Following that, you go down to emission color, choose color, and luminous as intensity. Okay. Or if you go back here and choose, expand this and choose emissive, there's a emissive channel here, and I have some other stuff installed, but at the bottom you got the emissive shader right here. Double click on that, then we'll automatically have the color selected and turn on as well. So emissives are great for other reasons. They are already part of the environment, which means in most cases you don't need to move so much stuff. You just say, hey, I want to turn this particular object or surface into light. You make it emissive, you choose how intense you want to have it, and off you go. That's how easy it is. It can instantly illuminate an entire room. Now, obviously, there is a little bit less control in this because they are fixed. It's not like you can move the entire ceiling, right? They're kind of fixed. So that's one drawback. And so obviously we can change the color. You can change the color to whatever you like, and as with lights, right? And that is quick and moody, right? That's cool. Now, let me show you, because Brian did model these overhead lights here that are in the ceiling here, above the island here, the kitchen table island, and also on the dining table back there. So I've made them emissive as well. And for instance, got the black table on, and we got the overhead island lights on as well. So that projects, that now looks more realistic, right? You have multiple emissive lights, each with different intensity, all that, and they all contribute and create all kinds of cool effects and so forth. And this is gorgeous. I mean, it just looks great, right? Now, what most people don't know is that you can add extra things to your scene, like any object. You can go ahead here and create an object, like a primitive. You can create a plane, a torus, sphere, cone, cylinder, or cube. Let me do that. So this cube over here, all right, Mr. Cube, right here, it's colliding with the table. That doesn't really matter. I just want to show you what I mean here. And like I said, you change that into an emissive by selecting it in the scene tab, then in the surfaces tab, then go to presets, either click on emissives or array and Uber base, and then up here you want to change the emission color. Now here's an important thing when choosing the color. Right now, let me just choose white, and let's turn off all the other lights. Okay, so I'm going to turn off all the other lights. I want to show you how this works. So base, I want to turn off the table, the overhead lights. I want to turn off the black table, and we'll also turn off the ceiling spots. Whoops, sorry about that, which are over here, right? So now the only thing emitting light right now is the huge cube. And here's the thing, this cube, whoops, I gotta select it, right? Sorry about that. Here it is. Now, when playing with emissive objects, you don't want them to receive light. So you can pretty much disable base color. You can disable glossiness and all that. Glossy color, they don't need that. They just need to emit light. And any gloss or reflections you can also turn off. Bump map doesn't really matter, so don't use that. So you adjust that now with the luminous, and it illuminates an entire room. So this is yet another way of lighting using emissives, and I use this very technique. It's basically a shape light. Okay, it's like instead of having a point light or a spotlight, you have a shape light. And I use this technique, like I just showed you, to create beautiful neon effects here underneath the table, then also on the wall as a pattern with beautiful straight lines. This is actually cubes or cylinders, and also I placed one up in here in the pantry, and I placed underneath the cabinets as well. So this creates some beautiful lighting, and when you have those engaged, you can just adjust here for a little bit more intense overall exposure, so we can see the lights here. As you can see, this is a whole new dimension of lighting, and emissives are best used for effects. You don't want to use emissive to illuminate entire rooms. It's not practical having huge walls that will just brighten up the whole thing, although you can, right? And you can light entire scenes just using emissives and nothing else. But really, what I want to kind of give you here is all the tools so you can mix and match between them and use them to your advantage. Okay, so basically now you have neons that illuminate the set, and a very important thing about the color. So let me increase the intensity a little bit more so we see what's going on. And basically what happens here is that, let's add our cube here as an example, and let me go to this cube now and just select a different emission color. I'm going to choose pure red. I'm going to show you what happens. It's going to look red, pure red, okay, and also it's going to project pure red. And in most cases that's not desirable. It doesn't look real. Nothing is that red and shines that red. Usually when things, let me just turn this off and click on the cube so we can adjust it here. Usually you want to go a little bit down above maybe 80%. All right, that will make the cube shine a little bit brighter. Think of the laser sword in a certain movie, right? Think about that. They are white in the middle. It's like ultra bright, okay, in the middle, and then they project this core lighting, and this is achieved by not having full red but a little bit less than that, or more like a brighter red color with a little bit of the other components in it. Now if I make this a little bit more intense, it's gonna almost become white in the center, which is more desirable, right? It looks more realistic. It's like a glowing cube, and then it projects beautiful red lighting. As you can see, you can use only that to illuminate entire scenes. Very obviously useful for sci-fi panels, sci-fi scenes and all that, but also for modern looking, you know, kitchens, right? So that is that. And obviously if you go for any other color, you do the same thing. You just make it above 80%. And that will then become yellow right in the center. So there is, you know, you can change objects that are there into light sources. For instance, remove the cube. I'll just click on this here. This painting up here, all right, we can make that an emissive thingy. Okay, you can go in here, click on the painting, go back here, click on the Uber base, go down here, and you got glass and painting. In this case, I think the glass needs to be, you know, and this is the drawback of having emissive. Sometimes you got to be a little bit creative and think, the glass is on top of the painting. Maybe I don't need the glass, and we can, you know, remove the glass, or maybe we can have the painting glow instead. And you got to be a little bit creative and know what you're doing. So now we add that as a glow, and we increase this, and voila, we have a kind of like a sci-fi panel above a door. It looks really funky. And as you can see, it projects throughout the entire room. Now, these effects, the larger they are more dramatic. So use them sparsely, okay? And so you can use ready objects or parts of objects as light sources. You can also add any type of object, like I said, the cube or torus or whatever object you like, you can make that a light. You can load other items from other props. Maybe there is some beautiful light you can add, or lamp, or I don't know, an artifact, and make it glow. You know, there is so many different ideas you can have when you just look at this. So that's about emissives. They can be either funky looking or real looking, and I'll show you both. And so this brings us to the next step, which is using HDR maps. And I'm going to be showing you HDR maps and the built-in light system from Iray, with Iray, in the next video. So now, just before going there, just hit me, I hadn't mentioned, I'm very creative when I talk. I don't follow a script. I dislike scripts, guys. I love to have some kind of structure. Talk about this, talk about this, talk about that, but then I just want to follow the flow. And so I forgot to mention that you wanna, when you're using strong colors, you wanna keep a maximum of 2 colors. Okay, don't overdo it. If you have blue and pink, like I'm having right now, don't add yellow. Keep it within the pink and blue. Okay, so it's all congruent. More than 2 colors just gonna look childish. It's not gonna look professional. So maximum 2 colors, and if you will, they should be warm and cold. So in this case, the pink is a little bit warmer and the blue is a little bit colder. We want to have contrast, okay? And so, yeah, so that's what I want to add. So I'll see you in the next video.